Hi everybody, I'm back, and this time I was just going to share everybody my story about my disassociation letter. I was asked on some comments if I had put in a disassociation letter or if I was disfellowshipped, and I said just stay tuned because I was going to share that story very shortly, so here goes. um, what happened was that I had planned to do the old faderoo. I stopped going to the meetings, and then as I was doing my own Bible reading, I realized that um, it wasn't the truth after all. And so my intention was just to not go back and just kind of fade away, as a lot of people do. Problem is that my husband, well, the elders were talking to my husband, who still goes, and they kept asking him about me and trying to get him to arrange a meeting with me. And he didn't really want to ambush me like that, thank goodness, because I would have been really mad. But they kept asking him, to arrange a time and when can he come over, and he didn't want to do that to me. He was going to leave it up to me whether or not I wanted to meet with him, and I just didn't. So I just kind of ignored the calls and whatnot, the requests for a meeting. So anyway, he kind of got tired of being approached by the elders. So he asked me, if this is your choice and this is your decision, this is what you're going to do, all I'm asking you to do is just to own it. So, that was fair. And I told him, well, what's going to happen. If I write the letter, then, I'm going to lose my family. So, this is why I'm not doing this. But I could understand his position and respect his position, so I said, okay, it's fair, I'll do that. So, I was kind of pressured into it a little bit. It wasn't my plan, but that's what happened, so I did it. So, this was probably a year and a half after I had stopped going since my last meeting, that, the issue of this letter come up. And so, I wrote a letter, a very nice one actually, I thought anyway. But it was a 3-page letter, and I explained, the false prophecies, and, and I went down the whole list, what was said, true, false, false, what was said, false, what was said, false, and then I concluded with, with the scripture that talks about false prophets and how I didn't want to be a part of this anymore, and so therefore I'm resigning and putting in my resignation, and that I no longer want to be a Jehovah's Witness. So anyway, it was a pretty decent letter. I was kind of proud of it actually, and so I decided to make a copy of the letter, not only to drop off to the Kingdom Hall, but for every person in my family as well. And along with the letter, all the things that I cited, all of the false doctrines that I cited, I copied out of the publications, and I attached the copy so that it was right there, everything. It was like a packet, and it was like, I don't know, at least a half-inch thick. So not only did I have my letter, but I had everything that I said copied with it, so that no one could say, that's not true, that wasn't said. So I copied everything, sorry, to send with it. So Sunday rolled around, and I had my box of packets, and I went and I dropped off one to all of I have 6 brothers and sisters and my mom. And I went and dropped off one to everyone, and then I went to the Kingdom Hall and dropped off one to the elder. There was one elder in particular that I liked very much, and he's funny, and so I wanted to address it to him, and he always expressed some concern for me. So I had some concern for him. So I addressed it to him, and, on the outside of the envelope that contained all this information. So it wasn't a disassociation letter, it was a disassociation packet, I like to call it, because that's what it was. And so anyway, so I dropped it all off, and I turned off my phone because, I just didn't want to deal with the, people calling me and what are you doing, and, all the backlash. So I turned off my phone for I think a day or two. And when I turned it back on, I was, kind of anticipating a lot of messages and, some sadness, some sad messages from family. I don't know, whatever. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting something. And what I got was nothing. A whole big hunk of nothing. Not a message, not a text, not a voicemail. I was like, wow. Because I know if I had been on the other end of that, and my sisters I would have been calling them up and trying to, give it one last go. But I don't know. I guess they're not me. That's what I would have done, but whatever. Anyway, so I dropped all that off, and then, well, my mom did visit me, I will say that. She did drive up to my work, which was great. And we had a conversation outside my work. And anyway, I just tried to comfort her. Oh, and you know what else I forgot to say? Not only did I write my 3-page disassociation letter and then attach it with all the information that I photocopied from watchtowers and publications and whatnot, but then on top of that, I wrote a letter to each individual of my family, to them specifically, like to my mom, and told her, not to worry about me, and that, God's got me and He'll direct me, and, not for her to worry, because she's older, and I just didn't want her to worry about me, and blood pressure go up and all this stuff, so. And for each person in my family, I wrote a special letter and told them how much I love them, and just, I'm going to be okay, and, what my journey has led me to, and how content and happy I was, and I know what I'm doing, and and this is the way I've got to go, and so forth, so on and so forth. So I did that as well, and so anyway, about, I don't even know how long ago or how much time passed, but I'm gonna guess maybe a month or two went by. I didn't hear anything, and that was fine with me. So Tom comes home from the meeting. Oh shoot, I wasn't gonna say his name, but I guess it doesn't matter. But anyway, my husband came home from the meeting, and he said that the elders approached him and said that, so sorry, but they're not going to be able to accept my letter, my disassociation letter, because I addressed the letter, my disassociation letter, to the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, and they informed him that if I wanted to write and turn in a resignation letter that they could accept, or a disassociation letter that they could accept, that I would have to write a letter and address it to the elders at the Kingdom Hall, Jehovah's Witnesses, or whatever they said to address it to. But they weren't going to be able to accept my letters, my packet. My packet was denied. And initially, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, this is just cuckoo crazy. What is this? And, but then I just said to him, I said, I'm not going to do that, right? Like, I'm just not going to do that. If they don't want to accept it, that's on them. I did my part, and I'm done. And he understood that, and, he was okay with that too, so Am I disassociated? No. Am I disfellowshipped? No. Um, I think it's because I addressed the letter to the corporation name and not actually the elders, the kingdom or whatever, but, I didn't know, and it was a public declaration. It was all that they needed to know, and if they choose to ignore it or to reject it, then, whatever, that's their choice, so, and actually, so does my family have to shun me? No, but they choose to. They choose to. But I was gonna say something. What was it? But I don't know. Anyway, that's what happened, and so I'm not disfellowshipped or disassociated. I'm just going. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that about the following year. This was in November, by the way, peoples. And then that following memorial, I got a call from the elder who was inviting me to the memorial. So that was nice. I declined, of course, but that was very nice of them to include me. And some are of the opinion that the reason it was rejected is more so because they wanted to have a meeting with me and not just, let me have the control of leaving them, but want to have me go there or have a meeting with them or drop off another letter so that there could be an exchange, and then therefore, they would be the one throwing me out instead of me throwing them out. So, but I don't know. I just know that that's what happened, and just going to share that with you. Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.